General casually tossed the gauze toward the vase opening, but in the next second, it flew straight onto a modern girl's head. This instantly set off the germophobic girl, so she poured all the water from her water bottle into the vase. After pouring, she realized there wasn't a single drop of water inside, so the girl turned on the faucet and filled it up directly. It was this unintentional act of hers that was about to save the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in ancient times. It turns out that the ancient generals and soldiers had been besieged by the enemy for months. Just as they prepared to slaughter their war horses for food, the bottle suddenly began spouting water. The soldiers were instantly overcome with excitement. The general believed it was divine favor. He promptly distributed the water to the townspeople without hesitation. Everyone was filled with overwhelming joy, but the girl was in trouble. The property management called to inform her she'd used 100 tons of water. Hearing this, the girl snapped back to reality. She rushed to the kitchen and turned off the faucet, but to her surprise, the bottle remained completely dry. So the girl changed her approach. She decided to try with food. She placed leftover rice on the bottle's mouth. The rice vanished instantly. Then she put all the leftover dishes on top. The result was the same as before. Meanwhile, the soldiers were starving. Suddenly, a box of white rice dropped out of the vase. Everyone was completely stunned. After taking a bite, they realized this was the kind of premium white rice only royalty could eat. Before they could even finish talking, another box fell out, this time with chicken. The soldiers literally broke down crying. Before they could even process what was happening, the vase kept pumping out more food. To thank whatever divine power was behind this, the general decided to write a thank you letter, and prayed for more food to help the entire city survive the crisis. He then burned the letter and dropped it into the vase. Meanwhile, the girl had just finished cleaning up what she thought was trash from the vase, when suddenly she saw black smoke pouring out of it, filling her entire place with smoke. It even burned a hole in her favorite rug. The girl was absolutely furious. She dumped all the expired food in her house into the vase, but her revenge plan backfired. The soldiers were thrilled. Even plain instant ramen was like a priceless treasure to them. But this still wasn't enough to feed the hundreds of thousands of people trapped in the city. So the general wrote another desperate plea, but this time he forgot to burn it. The girl thought the vase was tossing out more garbage, but when she opened the letter, she realized something was seriously wrong. The vase was somehow connected to ancient times. She immediately read through the letter carefully, and learned their world was being ravaged by disaster after disaster. A barbarian army of 300,000 had the entire city surrounded. Countless people were starving to death. There were even reports of cannibalism. The girl decided to help them, so she wrote back asking what they needed most. The general immediately replied that water and food were the most critical. With water and food, they could save tens of thousands of lives. When the soldiers found out this divine being was willing to help, they all wanted to send something back as a gift. Meanwhile, the girl had just bought $1 million worth of water and food. She was wondering if she'd been a total idiot, dropping over $1 million because of a few words from some stranger. Just then, something smacked her on the head. She thought they were tossing trash again, but it turned out to be a gold ingot. Before she could even process what was happening, a ton of expensive jewelry started pouring out of the vase. The girl realized she was about to get rich. Right then, a bronze wine cup emerged from the vase. It looked incredibly valuable. The girl thought about how they were still trapped in the city. Even with food, it wouldn't completely solve their problem. She decided she needed to help them win this war. So the girl headed to an antique shop. When the owner laid eyes on the girl's bronze cup, he froze. He excitedly said it was the best preserved cup he'd ever seen. But then he suddenly noticed the country name on the bottom. He then declared it was a fake, because this country never existed in history. Just as the girl was starting to think she'd been scammed, an appraisal expert walked over. After examining the girl's cup, he got super excited. He claimed that while history had no record of this country, it was because no concrete evidence had been found. And this cup was the perfect proof. The girl quickly asked how much the cup was worth. The expert said $200 million. Without hesitation, the girl sold it to him. The girl then arrived at the farmer's market with several large trucks. Using a loudspeaker, she announced she wanted to buy all the food here. All the vendors rushed to cooperate with her. Soon, she filled all the trucks to capacity. Then she went to the pharmacy to purchase the medicines the general needed. Seeing the girl buy so much, people thought the end of the world was coming. They all followed suit to stockpile supplies. Meanwhile, the girl had already prepared everything. The general could never have imagined that the tide of battle was about to turn.